Hey guys, what's up? This is Rome from Paces and Plates, and yeah, I I don't know about you, but I used to train purely for vanity, chasing heavy barbell numbers and pushing myself until my joints were beat up. But constant knee pain, knee aches made me completely rethink my approach. Today, every single movement in my gym sessions supports two specific goals. One is preparing for my half marathon on the 20th of September and laying the foundation for the HYROX Open next year. So my workout starts with heavy backward sled pulls. I do 3 sets of around a minute and 50 to 2 minutes per pull. For the HYROX Open, the official sled pull weight is 100 kilos. Today, I am pulling nearly double that, close to 200 kilos, either 200 or a little more, or a little less than that. And I am not taking the race prep too seriously just yet, but pulling this heavy builds a massive level of strength, endurance, and mental toughness that you cannot get from traditional weights. So, why am I walking backwards under 200 kg for 2 minutes straight? Why? Because it is the single-handedly the best knee rehab and joint protection exercise in existence. Because walking backward under resistance forces your knees over your toes in a low impact concentric movement. This pumps fresh, nutrient rich blood straight into your knee joints and strengthens the VMO. The VMO is that teardrop muscle sitting right above your kneecap. Think of it as your knee's primary shock absorber. So imagine when you're out on a long run, hitting concrete mile after mile, and with a strong VMO, it acts like a shield, right? It absorbs the landing impact so your kneecap and patellar tendon does not have to take the beating. So another massive benefit for runners is that these 2 minute sled pulls give you a brutal leg burn and a soaring heart rate with zero spinal loading. Just imagine heavy barbell squats pressed down on your spine, which is the last thing you want when your weekly running mileage is high, right? So the sled lets you hit a high output cardio zone and helps build serious leg endurance without compressing your back or wearing out your hips, right? It essentially serves as my warm up, my knee armor, and my heavy conditioning all rolled into one. So by the time I finish these pulls, my knees feel warm, lubricated, and ready for the next session. Next, I move into the heavy sled push. So just like the pulls, I am still pushing around 200 kilos to build heavy leg drive or HYROX. A quick detail on how I structure this. So when I load the sled this heavy, I do not superset them. I do 3 separate sets of pushes and 3 separate sets of pulls with full rest in between, around a minute and 30 to 2 minutes. Sometimes it can even reach up to 3 minutes, depending on how tired I feel and how good I want to bounce back, right? And I only superset them if I am using lighter weight, around 100 to 125 kgs. So honestly, pushing 200 kilos is more of a mental battle than a physical one, because whenever I am on a long run and hit a steep, a brutal hill, my mind immediately just jumps back to the sled. I picture myself leaning into those handles, digging my feet into the turf, and driving 200 kilos forward step by step. So that mental image gives me a weird boost of motivation. It reminds me that if I can move 200 kilos on a sled, this hill does not stand a chance. It builds total mental grit for my upcoming 21K, my half marathon. All right. And if you put it this way, heavy barbell squats can really strain your lower back, especially when your running volume is high, right? That sled lets you build raw power in a big aerobic engine with zero spinal compression. Alright, so next up is the ATG split squat. Quick fun fact here. So in Ben Patrick's knees over toes system, ATG actually stands for Athletic Truth Group, not Astagrass, but honestly, Astagrass is a pretty perfect fit because full depth is the entire point of this movement, and I am holding a single 24 kilogram kettlebell here for 2 sets of 8 reps per leg. And if you look at my first few reps and sets, you might notice my depth isn't quite as deep compared to the final set. Because even after heavy sled work, this deep split squat is a totally different movement pattern, and it takes a couple of warm-up reps for the hip flexors to fully release and allow that ankle and knee to sink into maximum depth. So runners are notorious for tight hips and weak knees and deep angles. So avoiding deep knee bend actually makes your joints become very brittle over time, and holding one kettlebell, balancing it as I do, lets you focus on driving that front knee all the way forward in a smooth, controlled motion. So this helps build resilient knees that can handle long distance runs without getting a runner's knee while opening up your stride. Next, we move into the posterior chain to build a strong back and explosive hips. I superset weighted back extensions with kettlebell swings because when you are running 15, 18, or 21 kilometers, your legs are not the only thing that gets tired. It's your lower back and core. They both take a massive beating because late in a race, when fatigue sets in, most runners start slouching forward, and that collapse posture wrecks your breathing and puts immense stress on your lower back. So holding 2 dumbbells during back extensions helps build endurance in the erector spinae and glutes, and this trains your posterior chain to keep your spine upright and locked in. So even on mile 12 of a half marathon, your posture stays tall and your lungs can fully expand. So after finishing the back extensions, I take about a minute and 30 of, of rest and jump straight into heavy kettlebell swings using one 32 kg kettlebell. And running is essentially a series of single leg forward leaps, and all of that forward drive comes directly from your glutes. And that 32 kilo swings forces you to hinge deeply at the hips and snap your glutes violently at the top. So this teaches your body to produce maximum power through hip extension rather than pulling from your lower back. So that explosive hip snap directly improves your running stride. It gives you a more powerful push off with every single step, takes load off your knees, and boosts your overall running economy for race day. Okay, so to finish up the main work of the session, we have pogo jumps. So what I do is two 30-second sets here, and while it looks like a simple drill, it plays a massive role in running durability because when you run, your legs act like high tension springs, and every time your foot strikes the ground, your tendons, especially your Achilles tendon, store kinetic energy and snap it right back out to propel you forward. So pogo jumps train that exact elastic recoil by bouncing quickly off the balls of your feet with stiff ankles. You are conditioning your lower legs to absorb and transfer force rapidly. So you do not need to jump high. The key to this is minimizing your ground contact time. So this builds bulletproof calves, keeps your ankles reactive, and acts as direct insurance against shin splints, plantar fasciitis, and Achilles tendonitis when your weekly running mileage climbs high. Right? So, uh, yeah, that kind of wraps up the entire workout. In total, the whole session took just over an hour, so looking at around 14 structured sets, 0 ego lifts, and every single exercise was chosen with a clear purpose to build a more resilient body for my 21K on September and set a solid foundation for HYROX next year. If there is one key takeaway I want you to get from this video is to stop training purely for vanity numbers because chasing heavy barbell weights at the expense of your joint health will catch up to you eventually. So I want y'all to start lifting to support how your body performs in real life, work through full depth, build a bulletproof posterior chain, protect your knees, and train for longevity. So when you prioritize performance and joint health, the aesthetic side effects take care of themselves anyway. So train smart, good luck with your own preparation, and we'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.